So throughout the years, we've gotten countless Mario and Sonic games. They came out, we played them, IGN and Metacritic gave them review scores, some good, some bad. But at the end of the day, us fans always ask the same question. Which games are better, Mario games or Sonic games? If you were to ask critics like IGN or Game Grumps that question, the answer will be obvious, but between us fans, that's always been extremely controversial, especially considering the humongous rivalry between Sega and Nintendo back in the 90s. While choosing which game is better is entirely subjective, I think that there are ways to decide which series is better, and that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. Alright, so one way to see which game series is better is by analyzing the gameplay of each series. Mario games tend to have gameplay that may not be the fastest, but is still very fun to play. It also tends to be very platform heavy as well in order to complement the jumping ability Mario is known for. You collect coins, hit question blocks, and beat the level by either touching the flag at the end, or by collecting a Power Star, or Shine Sprite, whichever game you're playing. Sonic on the other hand is basically some of Mario's gameplay except faster, and Sonic doesn't hit question blocks or eat mushrooms. One of the things that made Sonic rise in the gaming community when he first debuted was that his games contained speed and momentum, which is something that most games lacked at the time. So Sonic was basically revolutionary. Well, here in America anyway, as in Japan he really wasn't as popular in Japan at the time. Depending on the game you're playing, you can either use the spin dash or the boost to make Sonic go even faster and make the game even more fun and broken. You collect rings instead of coins, and you finish the level by dashing past a signpost or by touching the gold ring. Now both of these gameplay styles are extremely fun and enjoyable, but they're still pretty different as well, such as the fact that Sonic cannot swim, so he basically sinks like a freaking rock every time he goes underwater. Sonic having super fast gameplay, plus Sonic games tend to have more glitches and are more buggy than Mario games, which tend to have a bit more polish. So I'd have to say that Mario games have an advantage over Sonic games when it comes to glitches. Another way to see which series is better is by comparing the music of both games. While both series definitely have phenomenal music tracks, the Sonic series actually excels here in my opinion, having catchy, well-constructed music in basically every game today except that one. But anyway, the Sonic series tends to always nail their OSTs. The same can be said for the Mario series as well, with the Galaxy games and the RPG games having the best music in the series if you were to ask me. But because the plots in Mario games are basically non-existent, the music variety is lacking most of the time when it comes to Mario games, as most of the songs almost feel the same to a degree. Whereas with Sonic, because he's supposed to be the cooler, edgier anti-Mario, his games generally are more plot-heavy and have a wider selection of music, with a good amount of songs having vocals as well. Heck, the Sonic Forces OST sounds lit as heck and hasn't even gotten released yet. So I do have to say that Sonic games do have better music than Mario games, I'll give it that. One of the final and most vital ways to see which is better is by comparing the game plots. Now, I know I kinda said this in my last point, but to be more specific, Mario games tend to always have the exact same frickin' plot, if you can even call it that anyway. Where Bowser basically kidnaps Princess Peach and Mario need to go save the useless damsel. And that's it, 90% of the time anyway. And while some could argue that Sonic games also have simple plots, well, I'm sorry, that just simply isn't true. While the first two Sonic games may have had a simple plot, every other game that followed, for the most part, had a pretty deep plot. With Sonic 3 talking about the Master Emerald and Super Emerald and their properties, plus Angel Island, and plenty of 3D games like Sonic Adventure talking about the ancient Echidna tribe led by Bachacamac, and about Chaos, the water god, and the main villain of the game. The same could be said about Sonic Unleashed, where the true main villain was Dark Gaia. So as you can see, Sonic plots are definitely more fleshed out than Mario ones, making Sonic games win this round. Well, in conclusion, it looks like Sonic games are superior to Mario ones by fact. Despite their glitches, the game still brings amazing gameplay, a solid story, plus way more music variation. I could compare more, but it would just be very minor things like replayability, and stuff that just really doesn't make the series different from one another. Like again, replayability, like both games have really good replayability, so I really don't feel there's a need to really compare that. Besides, despite the fact that Sonic games may be the better series, I still prefer Mario games because they tend to be more polished and has a cool vibe that I really can't describe. Plus, at the end of the day, despite what I say, or what IGN says, or what any of the critics or fans say for that matter, it's all subjective like I said before. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, I'm glad, because these videos are pretty time consuming and it helps when I know you guys enjoy my videos. So that's it for this video. This is Mariaxi signing off. Bye!